Hello, it's Molly Reamer with Bridget's Grove in 30 Days of Goddess, and I am out here in the Bridget's Grove studio building with a little welcome to you for our December practice. And December is going to be a self-guided practice, which much of 30 Days of Goddess is self-guided in that you choose what works best for you and what fits into your life. 30 Days of Goddess is intended to fold in to what you already have going on. So if you have favorite oracle card decks, or you have favorite teachers, or you have favorite books and resources, those can all be gathered together into one sacred container. So it's 30 Days of Goddess is meant to incorporate or fold into your existing life and your existing practices rather than be a method or a specific prescribed set of actions. And so, but anyway, it's self-guided in that I won't be doing my little daily videos or making my little daily cards. I will continue my practice on my own with my own prayer book privately. And, here we are. We're almost at 365 days since I started this on January 1st. And so maybe it would have been more appropriately called 365 Days of Goddess or Goddess Every Day. But here we are at the nearly 1 year mark. And, I'm not about to quit now. So, but if you're new, then welcome. If you've been with us for nearly 365 days, then welcome to you as well. There is space for everyone in this practice, and there is space for everyone in the palm of the goddess, in the hand of the goddess. So, welcome. And anyway, 30 Days of Goddess is a combination daily devotional practice, spiritual practice, creative practice, and a sacred container all rolled up into one. That's what 30 Days of Goddess is about. It was created in response to those questions of, like, how do I feel the goddess in my life and what do I do with this sense of being on a goddess-centered path. And so 30 Days of Goddess is what I created to respond to those needs, to those questions, and as my offering in this a system, so to speak, a done for you, so to speak, system of daily devotional practice. But everything that I create is designed to encourage, nurture, and support you in a practice that works for you. So if, for example, you want to print out the little prayer cards that I offer and then you want to read one every day, that's fine. And that still counts as a 30 Days of Goddess practice. The heart for me is the devotional practice. But the heart is also the prayer book that I've created to accompany the practice. And you can print out the files yourself and make your own book, or you can order one from our shop. This is hopefully an accessible and available practice for anyone who wants to participate. And so if you don't have the resources to buy a book, and or for any reason, you are welcome to make your own book using the files that I provide. This is offered in concert with my patrons at Patreon. That is patreon.com/Bridget'sGrove. And so patrons do have access to additional new files every single month. They get multiple printable decks. They get the full thematic prayer book file for each month rather than the anytime used prayer book file that I offer publicly. Pretty much patrons get anything new that I make that supports and sustains this practice. And then the public post gets like a sampler of resources available. But anyway, it's available to you regardless of whether you're a member of the Patreon community or not. Of course, I would love it if you came to join the Patreon community. I would welcome you with open arms. And in that way, you then would have access to anything that I make in printable form, as well as additional benefits and, books. When I publish new books, you get one of those in the mail and things like that if you join the Patreon community. So anyway, heart of the practice though is this prayer book, and the prayer book becomes, I really want to emphasize this, the prayer book becomes a sacred space. The prayer book becomes a portable altar, a portable tiny temple, a portable space for the sacred in your life. And so while the prayer book isn't required and you are your own sacred space at all times, the prayer book offers a really special and powerful holding container for your experiences. And what I find is that it's this encapsulation. I really feel like 30 Days of Goddess is kind of encapsulation of my work and the things that I've created, and like a summary almost of everything that I want for people to experience on their spiritual goddess-centered path. And so the prayer book becomes a home for that. So whether or not you write anything new every day, if you just opt to use the pages to stick in the things that I offer and provide for you, it still becomes this portable sacred space. And so one of the things I wanted to emphasize as we're going into December is that the the daily practice, the devotion of showing up in what I call sacred sameness, so lighting the same candle, kneeling at the same altar, sitting on the same yoga mat or the same meditation cushion, going to the same spot in the woods, sitting on the same park bench, wherever it is that holds your practice for you, there is a sacredness in that sameness and that showing up over and over and over again in devotion. I have an additional audio about sacred sameness that I'm going to put into a 30 Days of Goddess classroom that I'm building. That classroom is a bonus. If you pre-ordered the 30 Days of Goddess Companion devotional deck, that class is a bonus for you. If you've ordered the book after that, I'll set up a discounted access point for you into the class. And if you haven't purchased the deck and don't want to, then I will have another payment option that you can use to take part in that class if you would like to have a ongoing 30-day long class experience. But anyway, the book, so I encourage relationship with place, with a particular place, whether it's an altar, a window, a balcony, a deck, a spot in the woods, a special rock that you sit on, a tree that you visit. I do suggest like a singular and same container that you visit and develop a relationship with over the course of 30 days. But the other thing is that the prayer book can be that space for you. So I mentioned in a past audio that, I take mine with me when I go to the dentist's office. And it's just there. It's not like I have written in it at the dentist's office. I have colored in it and glued things down while waiting for my kids. But in general, it's the presence. It offers me this little touchstone. It's like a portable sacred space that goes with me wherever I am. So I sit it by my computer when I'm working, or I carry it outside with me when I go outside, or I take it in the car with me when I'm on car trips, or I bring it to the dentist's office. And then I've got my sacred space right there. So that's one of the things that I think is really powerful and kind of unique about this prayer book system is that you have created a portable sacred space and you've kind of like collected all that magic, all that power, all that energy, all that insight. You've collected it into this place, this one little place that can then go with you wherever you go. And of course, you have your breath. Of course, you have your heartbeat. Of course, you have your hands. You have what you need at all times without any other specific tools. But anyway, it helps. It's a boost for you. So as I said, 30 Days of Goddess is the devotional practice, creative practice, artistic practice, and sacred space all rolled up into one thing. And so the things that I create, as I said, you can use anything you want. You can use tarot cards, you can use oracle cards, you can use favorite books, you can use favorite teachers, and it can all come together into this creative crucible of your prayer book. But the things that I've created that I offer that support a 30 Days of Goddess practice are the prayer book, which includes includes cut outable little mini cards, regular bigger cards, and little goddess quote unquote stickers that you can cut out. So this plus some colored pencils and a glue stick becomes like a grab and go portable practice sacred space grab and go kit that has everything you need really simplistically. And you can get that much fancier. So the prayer book is one of the things that is at the core. The other option is I have a simple logbook format, and you'll have there's a starter attachment for a simple logbook included in the post in which this video is embedded as well. These logbooks have 3 entries per day and then a page for art, and with a total of 30 days. The printed ones that you can buy from me have a total of 3 months worth of log entries. And so that's for people who feel like maybe the longer book is a little too much. so they want something simpler. So I've got the prayer book, I've got the log book, and then I also have a coloring book format. And these, so if you don't want to, create art from scratch, these have art already in them and prayers already in them. So you would color or add to. There's plenty of space where you can glue additional words in, you can stamp, you can put stickers, you can color, you can do whatever you want. And then you can just read the prayer aloud, or you can read the prayer silently. And there's 30 prayers in here and 30 things to color. And this itself can be another type of 30-day practice container for you. So if you feel intimidated by too much art or too much writing, the coloring book might work well for you, and there's still 30 days worth of experiences in the coloring book. And then the other thing that I offer is the 30 Days of Goddess Companion deck, which is 3 decks in one. There's prompts, prayers, and practices. Prompts, prayers, and practices inside. And these are the things that I then also make available in printable form for our patrons at Patreon. But the deck is also available in our Etsy shop. That's bridgetsgrove.etsy.com. And then all you have to do is choose kind of a mini ritual from the deck each day. And that can be your 30 days of goddess practice. And then if you want, you can log your results or not your results. This isn't results oriented. This is process over product. But you can log what you've explored and experienced in your little logbook if you have the deck. And then the other things that I make that support the practice. Woman runes, which I don't have out here with me right now, but woman runes also support the practice. And I have 2 goddess devotionals, the goddess devotional, a prayer book honoring the sacred, and then whole and holy, which is another goddess devotional. One's quite a bit fatter than the other, but both have prayers and poems to read. And so what you may wish to do is just spend some daily devotional time, light your candle, lay a hand on your heart, offer a few breaths of gratitude, and then read a prayer from one of the prayer books can also be a very serviceable and rewarding practice. So those are the resources that I offer: existing devotionals, fill in the blank, choose your own adventure, devotional prayer books, coloring book, and deck. So that's what I offer. And then you bring what you want to bring to the practice and incorporate what you want to incorporate to make it your own in a way that nourishes and supports you. So as I mentioned with the concept of the sacred sameness, I do daily, one of the things I like to emphasize is daily practice does not have to look the same every day. It can be very different, but the container is what's the same. So that's having your book, having your colored pencils, having your prayers, having a prayer that you've memorized, having the same spot that you visit. That can be the container that you make. And then what you do each day in that container can be very different, can look very different. But the idea is the sacred sameness of the showing up. And what I have learned through years of practice is that when you show up, Goddess shows up too, and magic happens, kind of no matter what. Like if you show up and you show up faithfully, Goddess shows up too, and magic happens. And so that is what I love to do my best to support and encourage for other people. And that is why I do this work and why I offer this 30 Days of Goddess experience is all about helping you open that doorway, reach out your hand, and feel her reaching back to you. So thank you so much for being here and for taking part. You will find assorted resources attached below. If you would like to dig in even deeper, you are welcome to join us in the Patreon community, which is patreon.com/BridgetSgrove, or you are welcome to join the upcoming 30 Days of Goddess class that's going to be offered in January in celebration of 365 Days of Goddess, because we've reached a full year of this practice. I started this in January, intending to offer it as a single 30-day experience and then have you just carry it on from there. And instead, I've continued to create and generate and write and new resources and publish new little prayer books for each month of the year, because I found there was so much here, so much life, so much potential, so much magic was possible with this format and with this container that I just kept going. And now here we are 365 days later. So anyway, but don't let that intimidate you. If you only want to contribute to commit to 30 days, cool. If you want to contribute or commit to 60 days, cool. If you want to do a month on, a month off, that's cool too. So this is not ever intended to create a sense of shame, blame, or force in you. It is only meant to nourish, encourage, and sustain you. Though I will say there is true magic in making a promise and keeping it, in making a sacred vow and keeping it. And that is what this little book, these little cards, and these processes and practices, that's what they support, is making a sacred vow and committing to it. And then you find that when you keep your promise to yourself, trust grows and enchantment grows and your sense of being connected in sacred relationship grows. So no shame, no blame, no pressure, no force, and held together is a deep encouragement to commit to showing up. So thank you so much for being here and welcome. And I will, I'm going to close with a little tiny reading from the Breaths of the Holy coloring book. And it is this: may we remember to reach out our hands to the thread of presence, to hear the chord of the sacred, to touch infinity and feel it reaching back. Thank you so much for being here and welcome to 30 Days of Goddess.